What's up, everybody? It's Dylan James. Y'all know me as Run Humperdinck on YouTube. It's an old account. I usually have this. I might need to pull my mic closer. I'll hold it, like one of those cool singers. Yeah, like that. But I might not even need the filter. But I usually do this, political Danqhouse. I should have named it cultural Danqhouse because it's not really political as much as I fight with culture. But this isn't one of those things. I put Run Humperdinck because that's my personal stuff. But I've been wanting to do this video. Well, I've been thinking about it. It's October 15th. The reason I'm doing this and it's so important to me, I'll tell you why first. I'm in the basement because Satan is busy. I came home and I don't ever try to record or do anything like that, music or this, and this is important to me. This video is going to be, and people are over with their babies and coming to see my sister and her baby. I'm glad they're all healthy and can talk, but sometimes you have to pray, to Jesus, say, can you please let them shut up? And I can't. I went out to the car. I said I'll just do it out here. I was going to settle for the dim light. And my freaking computer wasn't even charged, and so now I'm down here, better light, but you'll probably hear a bunch of rumbling and people yelling at each other, not fighting, but just they're loud. So, but I got that out of the way. Today's a big day for me because it's my birthday. It's not my physical birthday. That's March 19th. I'm 26. It's my spiritual birthday, and people who know me in real life or on the internet know I'm a spiritual guy, and I don't mean like hippy dippy. I mean a follower of the way, Jesus. And I wanted to talk about, it's been 5 years. I feel like my story could help other people, or kind of describe to the people that know me on here. Why does he talk a certain way? Not like don't say this, don't say that, but why does he talk about a certain type of hope that he has, and and why is his head in the ethereal a lot of times when we're just discussing physical. But to start out, I was 21 when it happened. This was October 15th, 2014. I went to a place, and I don't know if I want to quote unquote dox it. I don't think I can. But it was this fest, whatever. It was a person's name, fest, whatever fest. And what happened was I've been playing music at this bar. I'm not going to say the bar either. I'm pretty sure all this doesn't matter, like as far as letting it happen or telling it. I say Lucky's, but I've been playing there because when I was younger, I used to think all through, teenage years, I said, this isn't really cultural, but I'm going to bring culture into it because I feel like it pertains. This is not going to be, God's choosing this side, God's choosing that. But for my personal walk, and disclaimer, I'm not perfect. It gets better every day, and it actually does get harder. People like to pretend it gets easy. You're actually signing up for hard mode because you have to start fighting yourself when you feel those bad feelings. And if you want to, just yesterday or Friday, somebody was talking down to me like, hey, you're over there on your phone, and I'd been clocked out. You're going to leave my daddy over here to do all this stuff, right? And his dad had come with him to help him do types of stuff. And I thought, are you wording this as if I'm lazy or as if I want to make your dad work on my behalf, like, or are you trying to say I'm lazy or he shouldn't be having to do that? If I'm boxing stuff up and somebody sweeps stuff out from under you or before you can get to it, somebody does a job before you can get to it just because they like to do it and they're bored, that doesn't mean that they had to do it for you or you weren't going to do it. I just can't stand that. But in my mind, I just went blank. And most people, I blacked out like they're a thug. I blacked out in the sense, in my mind, I immediately thought, you in my mind, I want to, people might think this is the wrong way, but in your mind, you want to think that you thought, man, I want to kill him. That way you can say that you didn't. But in my mind, I just went blank. Like, I just couldn't think of anything. And my hands were shaking because it was someone judging you like that or making you out to be a retard or somebody that was just a piece of crap. Oh, you're gonna, you know what I mean. So I'm rambling, but this is gonna be ramble. So it it's just to tell you that bad things happen. Satan, is gonna go after you. If you're saying I'm gonna choose this side, there's two generals, God and Satan. You pick your general, and then you're on the side. You have to help your general win, and it's always a war. But during I'd always, I'd went to church and all that stuff like that, or I'd went to Bible school and stuff like that. I've always believed in God. I've went through I say it's bratty, but I say that in jest. I'm not mocking people, but I've never been the type to say, "Oh, the world is so evil," and this is just how could God allow this to happen, and just be agnostic or atheist, and give up, so to speak. Because in my opinion, it is. You can. I'm not trashing people, but I think it is. And in their mind, by their own ideology, they'll tell you they're giving up on it because they don't do it. And there's a lot of people that don't make sense for them. Bad examples, understandable. Those people have to answer. But I was never that type of person. But I was never somebody who tried to be better, tried to understand it, tried to live like it. I still try to every day. But I'll flash forward whenever I'm going through, puberty and all that stuff. It's always hard. There was cliques and stuff, and the world is fallen, 100% fallen. So all these people saying we're going to save the planet or save the earth or we're going to do this, we're going to free this, free that. Sure, that's all fine and dandy, but it's all going to go to crap. It really is. And it's like my shirt says, David McDowell. People could say, "Oh, this is contradictory. Raise hell." No, when you live the life that I'm trying to, or go by the path, hell will raise itself. The path I choose is raising hell, because hell will rise up against you. And you don't have to believe me, but it's true. I can attest to it. And whenever I was going through those times in middle school, just a bunch of cliques, and I didn't want to fit in anywhere. I just wanted to treat everybody fine, and just didn't say, "Oh, I want to be like Jesus." Back then, I wasn't saying stuff like that, but I just wanted to treat people, just leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. Like most people think politically, culturally, faith-wise, just try to treat everybody good, and if you can't, stay away from them, but they wouldn't leave me alone. "Oh, you're going to be in a group, or we're going to put you in a group." It's because they wanted to stereotype you so they could bully you. "Oh, haha, what a fag, he's there with the nerds, and so they threw me in the Mod Podge group, the one that wouldn't pick jocks, that wouldn't pick this, that wouldn't pick that, be a skater. I was just a country boy. Not purposely country boy, I just worked on the farm. All my friends happened to be country because they were down to earth. Anyways, it really took a toll on me, I think. So I went to a school out of middle school. I signed up first thing, man. I want to go to this early college, this high school that does both at one time. People that I became friends with later, and I'm still friends with today. Some of my best friends, they wanted more out of their life. I just wanted the hell out. I wanted out of middle school, because it's going to be the same in high school. But when I got there, I was going through a bunch of crap. I actually had some counselors come, they called counselors to come down there one time to where I was, because they said, "Hey, Dylan, how's it going?" And this was like one of those things, this God spoke through me or something like that, where I didn't say good. I said not good, and I just kept walking. And in your mind, you think, did I just say that? Because you want to say it, and you want to say a lot of stuff, and you usually don't. It's like that thing earlier when the person was berating me and I said, "I resent what you're saying to me." And in my mind I was thinking, I just said that. It was the truth. And the person didn't even say it. Didn't say anything to it. They knew it was true too. They sort of like bowed down, I said, "You're painting me out to be this person, and I resent that statement or rebuke it." But they sent people down there whenever I was in high school, and I wanted to quit. I wanted to go back because I had, a few friends, and at least the 5 that I knew or so, were at the other school, and I don't have to start over from there. Some people came over from the school I was at as well, but we weren't friends, so to speak. We were in different cliques, but we were all together, because we were from that school versus this part of this county, this part of this. So we were kind of together like that, so to speak, but they like different things, and we're all cool now, but They liked different things, had different passions, but it was really rough. And I talked about culture in the beginning of this. Is that like this MAGTOW, men going their own way? I know what they feel like. I got a lot of crap one time because the Elliot Rodgers thing. I said he was a maniac and he was driven to killing people. I said, but I knew exactly what he felt like, and it kind of makes sense. And people just couldn't think on a bam. They couldn't think past a 1D level. It's not to say that it's right to do that or that someone's excused, but society sets up sex as a measure of success, and it's crazy that I just don't care about it anymore, where I'm not worried about that aspect of it or lust and things, but because that's all I was thinking about as a kid, not sex, like as a 16 or 17-year-old, right? But I was thinking about, I need a girlfriend. You need a girlfriend because it's a measure of success. You're gonna find love. You're gonna be happy with a girl, And it just never came. It just seemed like it never came. And like everything that this movement MAGTOW's doing. I get what people are doing, but I just can't stand when people put a label on being normal. Why can't you just go back to being normal? Oh, we're the anti whatever. Oh, we're the anti whatever. No, just say we're normal. Men going their own way. You don't have to go your way away from women, because that means you've made women your identity, like I did to start with. So you're admitting that you gave women power to start with. And it's just being a man, to focus on your destiny, on your attributes, your skills, your job aspirations. But what happened to me was I got caught up in that crap, and I wasn't worried about my future education, my this, my that, and everything you wanted to be in classes with said girl, or and I signed up for this class and I hate it, and I'm not good at it, and this isn't even going to help me, but the girls in there, and you just have to take the L, or I can't remember what you call it, but not drop out, but you know what I mean, where you revoke yourself in time, for it to not take a grade, you opt out. But it didn't stop. Whenever I got out, I thought, what am I going to do? Go to work, which would be fine. But mom was like, hey, you should just go to school to be something. Didn't know what I wanted to be, but I knew I needed, you need to do something. So I was like, I'll just, be a medic, be a nurse, and be something. We went up there and signed up, and in my heart, I just knew, hey, man, this just doesn't seem right. No, I don't know if I'm being called to do that. In my mind, I wasn't thinking that because, I didn't use language like that back then. But it was weird because on the last day, I might go all over the place, but I'm still going chronology. And if I miss stuff from earlier, fine. But when I quit drinking at 21 when I got saved, I've had some drinks here and there, not for a long time, but a beer for a kidney stone's a lot different than me. I was drinking to get messed up. I was abusing it. And when I quit drinking at 21, the way that I had done, I just could. It got old, but when people would say, "Well, you didn't have a problem," you weren't even there to talk to me when I did have a problem. You don't know me. I know myself, and I had a problem. I wasn't drinking it, because, wine is good with steak, or, I need a beer for kidney. I was getting messed up, and I was getting messed up to fill a void. The void that I thought I was trying to fill with women. And I not fill with women like I got girlfriends, or I had a bunch of sex, or this and that. I had a lot of bad luck with women, like as in just blew me off. Screw you. Which, looking back, that's fine, because, you can do it right, It's actually spared me. But it was to fill a void. And people would say, well, you didn't have that big problem. What do you mean? You quit by the time you were 21. You were an alcoholic. You couldn't even drink when you were 20. And I thought, are you guys serious? Name me somebody that doesn't start drinking when they're 16. I was drinking when I was 16. You're smoking pot at 17. And that's the one that progressively got worse. I mean, I quit smoking, really, this year. I just feel like it's dragging me down. I prayed about it, and I said I told God, and said it's gonna be weird to have to raise a kid and say don't do what I did while you're still doing it. And so, but I want a wife and kids, And so I feel like God had given me the ultimatum. Just, if you quit, maybe you can get the wife, then get married, and she can become your wife, right? And then you can have the kid. And that's how you juggle those two. So I'm stepping out on faith on that one. But that was to fill a void. But back to the drinking. I drank just all the time. And I was at a friend's house a lot. And we would just party all the time. And it's just the same thing every day, but you don't see that when you're a kid, when you're a teenager. But looking back, it was a waste of time, a waste of money. It was always fights and stuff. There was times whenever me and my friend, my wingman, that we were down here in this very basement, and we ended up going to his aunt's later. But we wanted to go up to his house, which there had been a party all the time, and my mother we were 17 or so, I think, happened, thank God for her, happened to, and she wouldn't even say it at the time either, because she got saved a little before me. But she said, I've got a bad feeling, the discernment, you still have the gifts. But she said, I got a bad feeling. That night, police were called because people, they get in a fight and the loser has to call the cops, or some dumb girl, or, yeah, and I'm not talking about women, I'm talking about just, the girl that's dumb, that, oh my gosh, somebody threw a punch. And, while somebody's pulling people off, and, all right, you guys, y'all both leave, and we're good. Before people can normally fix that, somebody's done called the cops. Oh my gosh, there's a freaking fight. Cops came, there was cocaine, there was this, there was that, and I didn't do any of that. I've never done cocaine in my life. But it doesn't matter when you're underage and everything that you do is illegal. I was underage for drinking, and if I were to be smoking, that's illegal anyways. I would have been in trouble. I'd have been screwed. So I've been lucky on times like that. But looking back on all that, it just never helped. I thought I was having fun, but I was really trying to fill a void. But like I said, flash forward, you're old enough to drive yourself around. I go to college. Back to that thing I was talking about, the last day I go in, I don't want to be a nurse. I said I don't know what I want to be really, but I've signed up for something else. My teacher, who is my mentor, she looked at me dead in the face and said, you don't look like a nurse. And somebody said, well, that's a weird thing to say. Not then, when I tell this story, and I go, just like the people that say that you were 21, you couldn't have been alcoholic. It's just, don't say stuff when you're that dumb, really. When somebody said, that was a mean thing to say. No, her discernment knew. She said, you don't look like a nurse. She was right. And she said, would you like to do graphic design? What have you heard of that? And I thought, that's just pick art. That's just this and that. And she said, no, it's this, blah, blah, blah. And I'd been drawing, in my life, and I've always loved art and music. And I'd been learning music when I was 16 that, I was drinking and playing. But, I was playing a little before. But music saved me, I think. What's weird is I had all these aspirations to be in a band and in this, and it like with women, it just never worked out. Nobody played my type of music. I couldn't get along with people. Nobody would even, we've all got a band. And I think looking back, that's God shielding me, because if I just thought of this recently, if I had gotten successful or even just wanting to tour to make change here and there, when I have a wife and kid, it's going to be taking time away from them. And I ultimately don't want that. But looking back, even more so, it would have just been more drugs and drinking and sex probably, and just a bunch of stuff, and my eyes wouldn't have been on the prize. But it started getting old. You start drinking, everything. You start doing weed or drinking. You're not doing it anymore with parties or people. I'll just drink at home until I can, get to the party. If there's not enough parties, well, I'm still going to drink. Then I'd be drinking to excess until I was being sad. It was getting you lost in your thoughts and, letting Satan talk to you. There was times when I wanted to kill myself before drinking and during the drinking, because I didn't have a girlfriend, or I didn't have this, or I didn't have that. There was a time when I was down there at that person's house, my friend's aunts I was talking about. She had laid out 2 things, these pills for pain, because I think I had pain for something. And this was legit pain. This wasn't like, oh, I'm hurt. But I'd taken both of them. And she said something about, oh, he was only supposed to take a fourth of that. Two of them could kill him. And in my mind, I was thinking, so, and it's weird to look back and think that when I came home from graduating in 2011, well, it's 2011. It was going to be 2011, but I got held back because, I went through depression, like I said, chased girls and all this, and I divided my senior year into two so that I could keep going to school and not have to pay that extra money. The state could help it. And then I was in underling class after my friends had graduated, and then you have people that are always, lack of a better term, dick measuring. Hey, look at so and so over there. He's here. Why is he still here? And it was really just to make themselves feel better. I and they, I guess, thought they were mocking me, but they were really just trying to vindicate themselves. But I just thought, man, I hate these people, man. I gotta get out of here. I can't wait to get out of here. And I stuck through it, and I graduated. And that's when I went into this thing I was talking about where you don't look like a nurse. And in 2012, I said, to the teacher in July, I said, I'll give graphic design a try. I go into graphic design, changed my life. I'd finally started going to school for something that I liked. I said, wow. And then I started seeing all this stuff applied to graphic design. And I was like, oh, there's art in everything that I see. And then everything I was learning, yellow and violet make this and that. And, they're complements. And this is whatever. And then, things were clicking in my mind that, I think were spiritually given to you, like music and art. I remember drawing stuff orange and blue. Dylan's favorite colors are orange and blue as a kid. And then it clicks and you're like, man, those are complementary colors. This is something I've always known. And that's why that makes sense. And it started clicking. And I was so ecstatic about it that people just assumed I was ass kissing and brown nosing, and it just got old to them. And it was just, I was so giddy, and we'd be mixing paint, and I learned what synesthesia was. I used to say blood tastes like pennies smell, and people would say, what? That's stupid. And somebody one time said, oh, it's the metallic in both that just jog in your memory. And synesthesia, you know what that's called? No, that's where your senses mixed, right? So it's just. It was really a revolutionary time for me, starting to get, hey, this is your craft, this is what you're doing. You can take what you learned in school and apply it. It wasn't like 2 + 2 = 4. Of course, we use math, but nobody just sits back and goes, yes, I got to calculate inventory at the, convenience store, or this and that. Yes, 2 + 2 is 4. But when you see something on the internet and it's an advertisement, you go, I know why Nike used the orange and blue, or I know why Coca-Cola has that script font. That's script. That's hand-drawn. That's not just some type. Somebody did that. Blah, 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 blah. And when we'd mix colors in color theory, people would say, gosh, you talk so much. And I would say, we're in here for 3 hours mixing paint. There's 50 of us. If I got to be the only one talking, I will be. And y'all know me, I will. But we're not going to sit around here and all of us just be quiet. More than just like the tranquility type, where we just like a bunch of serial killers sit there and just mix paint for 3 hours and don't talk and look at. But I made a lot of friends there. And the first 2 friends that I met are still good friends. And they're legit. And I pray for them. I think they're still trying to figure it out, to be honest. They're searching, trying to fill voids. But they're like brothers to me as well. But we went to a museum, and it was just cool because it was people that were a little older than you, and some were my age. But in college, it was just really weird because when the older you get, sometimes you're hanging out with 35-year-olds, and you're like, I was 19 at the time, I think. Yeah, because I was a year after school. And it's just so cool. I don't know if you can hear me because of the vibrating up there from the fan. But you've got adults, and first time you realize, oh, this is what adult means. I'm 21, they're whatever, we're, this gap. As a kid, you go, oh my gosh, 5th graders, I'm a kindergartner. And then you're in college, you're that age, and 20 to 25, 20 to 30 is not a big deal. That's 10 years difference. And then it's just everything starts falling away. And I think it all was leading up to stuff. But in 2014, I graduate. Because 2013, the summer, I had worked, and my teacher had done so much for me here. Your finances, if you need anything, let me help you. And so I wanted to do more for her, and, I wanted to try because she was helping me. And she only helped me because she saw that I wanted to try. So it was this together, and everybody, ooh, teacher's pet, this and that. And I thought, you can say what you want. I'm treating someone with respect that treats me with respect. If we want to put a label on it, like I said earlier, about other cultural things, if we want to put a name on something that's normal, you do what you want to do. I'm just showing respect. But during the summer, I used to, run the lab and things like that. And it was the first time I ever had responsibility of locking things up by myself at a college and things. It was just so cool. 2014, later I graduated. And like I said, during that summer is when I started going to the bar and playing music and it was May 2014. And my friend that I talked about, I first met there, I had advertised it, I guess, on Facebook and said, I'm about to play. And he called me, bam, like that, and said, bro, you got to advertise when you do stuff like that. We want to come see you and support you. And it was just really eye-opening that, somebody wanted to support you. And it's just so deep. You had friends that just either didn't care, or everybody that was around you all your life, they didn't care. And to be honest, I didn't advertise it on purpose. Part of me just said that so I could let people know that I was there, so I could feel better, I guess, about not telling people. But I didn't want people to come because I didn't want people to, judge you. Not that they do, but in your mind, I was playing God, thinking that they judged me and stuff. But they were there and woo and this and that and and it was just great. And I got more and more confident playing music in front of people, talking to girls. Not even the sexual sense, but you know what I mean, just talking to anybody. Like I said, in college sort of helped. They're 30, but they're not. Ooh, they're 30. It was just, hey, you're my classmate. We gotta do this together, and helped you learn how people minds work. And after doing, I'm typing. After talking to a chap, HB, but after, that's why I was in a hurry to get this done. I want them to see it afterwards if they want to, because I talk about this type of crap with them a lot. Crap. People are going to freak out. Oh, he called this faith crap. And Jesus knows what I mean. But to go back to my friend, for a whole summer I was, partying after parties and playing at the bar, open jam every Tuesday, and getting better and better. And it was a new task. I'm very task oriented. I'm a melancholic guy with mechanics. Every day, every week was like, I got a new challenge. I got a new song I need to learn. Oh, so and so said they like Leonard Skinner. They like this. They like Hendrix. See if you could play that in a week. Bam, I got to learn this. Bam, I got to learn this. And I was working on a chicken farm here at the house. And in my free time, I was learning new stuff for next Tuesday, and then sometimes I'd go Thursday for karaoke. I'd play blues harp, which is harmonica, and I think I was just getting that love that I feel like I needed. I was still trying to substitute things for it, but that fall, coming up on my my birthday, spiritual birthday, October 15th, 2014. There was this fest that the person that works at the bar was throwing, and we went down to his place, and the girl that was the bartender, I'd liked her, and somebody I actually went to school with. It was an interior designer and stuff like that. And she was going to be there. And so in your mind, you have everything. Oh, the guy who was throwing it, his son threw it. He was one of the bartenders. And he would play and he'd run open gym. And it was, we'll let you play up there because at least with guitar, he was, in his mind, don't let people play up there because that's more competition, whatever people want to do in their own mind. But nobody could play harmonica, so to speak, out of them. So I knew I was going to get a spot doing that. When I got there, it was, hey, I went with my father. I originally wanted to just drive down there by myself so I could, whatever you want to do, get it on, do this or that in my lewd mind. My father said, no, let's drive down together. I was like, thinking. But I did anyways. He was going down there, and not that he wasn't going to let me do what I wanted, so to speak, but you know what I mean. But when we get down there, it's daylight, we're still talking. Everybody, we're getting ready to set up. There's bands set up for this and that. And I think it was a whole weekend thing, might have been. But we got there, and my dad had went off with his friends, so, my dad's friends are dope. They were having a time with the trailer, their camper. Anyhow, the daylight started setting. I saw the guy. I said, "Hey," I'm not gonna name names. I was like, "Hey, dude." I said his name. "Hey, dude," and he's like, he was just walking. He wasn't ignoring me. I don't think. Maybe he was, because he was a kind of like competitive guy. It really was like an ego thing. Every time he had been known to like turn my amp down whenever I was playing up there and stuff. It was just gross. And but he turned his head. Oh, hey, walked up, and he said, and even before I could say something, he said, "Dude, we'll get you up there. Don't worry." And I saw, and then later it just all started falling apart. Everything was turning to crap, man. The sun was going down. I'd been, drinking, and the worse things got in my mind, the more things started falling through. It was like CCR says, "Oh Lord, I'm stuck in Lodi again." If Lodi's a mental hell, where I'm never gonna progress in this. I'm never gonna get a band. Never gonna get a girl. It's all coming back to me. I didn't have a job at the time. I was working at the chicken house, which I loved, the family affair. But, my graphic design, what am I doing? I'm not designing posters for bands or anything. Then, it's just progressively getting worse. Drinking, and somebody, here's some weed, smoking. And this was the weirdest part. I told people this was definitely God setting up an appointment, a date with me, the Holy Spirit, because nobody would talk to me. Everything was, "Hey, Dylan," and they loved me, man. We were, even if just a minute talking. Imagine "Hey, how's it going?" I was like, "Real quick, I got to get right back. I'm busy. I'm cooking rumps or something. I'm cooking these hogs, steaks, whatever. Oh, I'll be right back. I got a good sound check, man. I'll see you in a second," and never come back. The girl I was going to see was, every guy was around her, of course. That's how all the girls I've ever liked were. Maybe it's high standards. Maybe it's my luck. Maybe it's whatever. She was just all up on rubbing another guy, not weird, but how women can be like all catty and stuff, and it kind of broke my heart in a sense, and it's like, stuff like that's going to happen, but the fact that it just keeps happening, I just kept drinking and drinking, and, had friends and all that, they were okay with, hooking me up with some liquor and stuff like that, but, "Oh, we'll be right back, we're going to do this." Nobody wanted to talk about shit. I ended up in the woods, and I wasn't like throwing up or like wild drunk, but you're just like hazed, and all those bad feelings kept coming back. And I just kept thinking, I wasn't like one of those people, like I said in the beginning, like, "Oh, if there's a God, he wouldn't let me feel this way." In my mind, I was more receptive to a God, and I was, I claimed to be Christian, but you know what I mean? I was thinking, there's got to be more to this. There's got to be more than this. Why is nobody talking to me? Why is everybody dissing me? Why is everything a competition? Why is everything a battle of egos? Is they're not genuine people? I couldn't talk to my dad about it. I couldn't talk to anybody about it. Me and my dad had troubles in the past. Relationship strain. He'd spend a lot of time with my sister because she loved sports, and I just didn't like sports. Like, the same douchebags in middle school that ruined things for me always made sports not fun. And it wasn't that my dad didn't like spending time with me. It's just those things that we didn't spend time doing together. I'd stopped playing paintball. That was one of the things we had in common. But it was expensive and more ego battles. But I was just out there in the woods, and I thought, God, nobody's going to talk to me. Nobody's talking to me. Everybody's ignoring me. Did I come down here for nothing? All I want to do is play. I didn't come down here to show off, and, I don't want to be on the stage just to, play in front of 300, 500, who knows how many people were in the woods playing or listening. It wasn't for the show. It was just so I could play with people, because I'm the only one in my family that plays music. I have all these instruments, but you can't play them all at once, and I said, God, nobody's talking to me. And it's just, there was this feeling in me like that was, I'm talking to you. It's okay. And people could say, "Oh, you were drinking, you were this, you were that," but I knew what I was doing. Though I was being spoken to. And people, people know Jesse Lee, people can just differ on what, in theology on certain things about everything, but the way he says that God's voice is a voiceless voice, this was years before I heard of him too. It was exactly what it was. I'd been talking to myself in my mind. It was Satan. It was Satan using my own voice against me. "Oh, man, look at that girl. You're never going to get a girl. It's just like, in college. It's just like in middle school. It's just like before that. Look at you. You're still drinking. You're not happy. Drink another piece, a little bit of liquor, you drunk, you whatever, you pothead. Look at you. Nobody wants to play with you. You're a failure." And all that went away when that voice said, I'm talking to you. And I, honest to God, believe that all that time, God had set the appointment up. Looking back, there's no other way. God had made everybody busy. Nobody wanted to talk to me. That was because God was the one who was supposed to be speaking to me. And it's just crazy he reached out to me. And that's how I got, baptized by the Holy Spirit, because after that, there was this weird feeling that it was just unchangeable. I didn't want to, drinking wasn't as fun as it used to be, and progressively things like, the way I treated people, and there's been struggles here and there, but just the way I looked at life, I haven't wanted to kill myself since. I've thought of things that were bad, that look back on that night whenever I graduated, and like I said, I tried to drink myself to death. I took it wasn't the plan at first, but if I said, man, I could die from these 2 wine bottles back to back, I was a little scrawny thing, and no matter if it was or not, the intent was there. I said, if I die, so what? Because one of my good friends from the high school had drove me up there, and we went to the prom, the junior prom. This was in 11th grade. Remember, I did 12th twice, but 11th grade, and we came home, and I didn't have a date. Nobody danced with me. I didn't make an effort to, but everybody you want to dance with is all, off of someone else, and I'm way more jovial now ever since, Jesus came into my life, because looking back now, those girls that I was friends with, that dancing had to be sexual, or dancing had to be, oh, I like you, but now I could probably go to a reunion or something and just dance with every chick, in the sake of, hey, we're cool, we're friends, you're a classmate, you're a fellow human being, and it just raised my standard of human beings and interacting with them. I still had gotten short with people, since then, but I've always thought I could have done that better. It's always been about what can you do better, what can you do better. Your life isn't as bad as it used to be, or it's not as bad as it could be. And I'm just rambling. I thought, hopefully the right stuff comes out. I thought about what to say, but you can never really do stuff like that. But I came home, and I was driving home, and I told my dad, I said, I think I got saved. He said, oh, whatever. He didn't blow me off or anything, but okay, that's nice. And it's weird today. He came by from work. He lent me some money for car troubles I had about a month ago, and then he said, can you help me back? And I've been wanting to help him back. No, and dads can be parents in general. No, I'm your daddy. I'm supposed to do that, or I'm your mom. I'm supposed to do that. But I'm like I said in high school. Everybody to me, father, mother, it's all brother and sister now. It's all just a fellow human adult, and not in a hippy dippy way, but you have a contract. I owe you money. You helped me out when I needed it. But it's cool because he came by and here, just $100 for something, and I said, hey, today's my birthday, and I pointed to my heart, and I pointed up, and his dad, my grandpa, I've always loved him. He died 2012, I believe. And I remember going up there playing music for him, and he had, had a stroke, and he had been getting bad off. And his hands would turn black. Your body starts turning purple from lack of oxygen and blood, I guess. Every time, it's crazy, because every time I go up there and talk to him, or you'd play music for him or something, you could tell, like, his hands would go from black, turning back pink, like the life was coming back in him, his family, music, the world. And it was me doing it. Something through me doing it, but you see what I mean. And he was always a godly man. Went to church, did Bible study, treated others the way he wanted to be treated. The pool house always had gospel station on it, and it was good gospel, that old school. I can't stand this new 7 words repeated 11 times, Kent Hovind, I think I've heard him say it, 7-Eleven music. Oh, I love you, God, I love you, God, I love you, God. I like that old bluegrass type stuff he had. And then, it's crazy, I haven't cried since the day he died, because I know he's in heaven. And it's like, you can't, I miss him, but in your mind, it's like I said, go back to the JLP stuff. I have no opinion about it, because the second I have an opinion about it, that foothold comes in. You miss him, you do this, you do that, and it's just great that when my dad calls me and says I'm missing my daddy, my grandpa, I can console my own father. When before I couldn't even help myself from wanting to kill myself. Coming home from prom, if I drink, myself to death. And that's whenever I smoked pot for the first time, because somebody had it, and I said, hey, if this will keep me from feeling the way I do, and it kept me from drinking because I had planned to kill myself. I was going back over to take more wine, and then maybe find some beers that somebody had or something, and hopefully maybe I can just pass out, if I don't die. But life has a lot more meaning. It's gotten a lot harder. I wouldn't say harder, I would say more challenging, because your will becomes God's will, and you still have your own attributes. But it's like when somebody's an enemy, and you're a serial killer, or you're a mob boss or something. You can change your life and then work, let's just say for an example, work for the police or something, or reconnaissance, and then you're using the same skills you were using for graft or evil, or to kill somebody, to hunt somebody down, to find killers, because you know how they think. So I can witness to people that are drinking and drugs and stuff, and I try to do it in a good way, because I don't want to force anybody to do anything, because my mom and other people would say, I wish you wouldn't drink, and I would say, oh, you think you're so better, you're, Jesus and this and that, and I actually thought I loved Jesus, It was this Bruce Almighty type stuff where, oh, smite me, God, if you care so much. Thank God he didn't answer that, because, it's just crazy, to think that you would want to end your life before you even get to the college part where I started, I found a passion, I found the art, and things are clicking. Or even after you go to school, and then you go out into work, and you're working at newspapers and all these places, and there's people that you don't get along with culturally, because that's at the lowest level, so to speak. That's your core, what you believe in, and you can still discuss with them without getting mad, without wanting to kill people, without, and people can say, oh, I don't want to kill, but you see what I mean. When you have anger for someone, that means the first thing a person does before they murder is anger. Murder or anger and hatred for your fellow man or woman is murder of the heart. If you look at someone to lust after them, you might as well just cheat on them with their boyfriend. But you can catch yourself doing things like that when you change, and it's for the better. People always say, well, be a slave all you want. I'll be a slave. You know why? Because people think, oh, God's limiting because I want to raise hell and do this and that, and not this. I guess what people would say this sense, but you see what I mean. I want to have sex with a bunch of women, do all these drugs, and not feel judged. You're still going to judge yourself. Satan's going to judge you. You're not getting away from judging. You're not getting away from, there being lost to the universe by trying to get rid of God either. And I tried to remove people from my life that made me feel bad, and it was still me judging myself. So you can't pretend you're going to get away with that. Even if you kill all of them, there's still a morality that you were made with from the very beginning. Everyone's born with a motive light in them that tells them right and wrong. And what I said, oh, you be a slave all you want. Oh, you're so edgy. You're so edgy. Where somebody thinks, oh, worship Satan unironically, or I'm a Luciferian. I know the real truth. He freed us from, and gave us knowledge. Oh, you be a slave to God. I will be a slave to God. Because if you're not a slave to God, you're a slave to sin. And sin was whooping my ass. Drinking wasn't helping. Smoking weed wasn't helping. Lusting after women wasn't helping. All judging people, being in a competition with who does this better and who does that, and everything's who's the most liked at the bar and who plays the music the best. It wasn't good. And now I'm just competing with myself every day to be the better me. And I'm not sure if this is all I could say. I might do more, who knows. But I just wanted to get this out on my spiritual birthday. I'm 5 years old. I was 21 when I got saved. I'm 26 now. I'm 5 years old. I've learned more in 5 years than in the first 21, that's for sure. And the good thing is I'm going to keep learning. You're always going to have something to learn. And it's in yourself. And what's great to me is that, Jesus died for us so that he said, tear the veil of the old church and these things like that. You don't need a priest to intercede for you. You don't need to have somebody do some Hail Marys for you or anything like that. You don't have to. Like when I was out in the woods, he came to me. Not only can I just talk one-on-one with him, thanks to that sacrifice, he came to me. He sought me out. He set a date for me. I could have refused him all I wanted. But I chose to accept him. And that's why people get mad. Be a slave. A slave does not accept. People want to say, oh, Uncle Tom's and this and that. No. It was not. I accepted him as my father. He's not my slave owner. I still have the freedom to do what I want. Just because I choose not to doesn't mean, stick your tongue in that outlet. Nah, I choose not to. Oh, you're a slave. You're afraid. No, I just rather choose not to. Oh, you're just, just because you literally can't. No, I just know better. And that knowledge comes with you when you accept it. But to anybody who listening to this, you don't have to take my word for it. Ask yourself. Say, God, speak to me. Come into me and see, what I need to change in my life. Be careful, because it'll really weigh you down sometimes. You'll have real self-reflection. And I'm still doing it every day. And if anybody needs, someone to talk to or about it or want to discuss, and I don't mean argue over is it real or not, because if you're just trying to use me to say I gotcha, now I don't have to do this, you already don't want to do it in your mind. You don't need to prove it to yourself unless you think there is anyways. It's true. But if you're struggling, or you think you want to die, you want to kill yourself, you still have bad days. I'm here for you. Hit me up. I'll do what I can. And maybe I've been through something that you have, and maybe I'll be getting ready to go through something you have, like a parent or something. Hey, I'm getting ready to have kids, something like that, and then I can ask you, and we can all grow together. But that's about all for now. Peace out, guys. Go with God.